We operate within a landscape of ubiquitous digital observation. We've mapped the physical globe, filled the sky with thousands of tracking satellites, and built networks capable of locating a single smartphone within a few inches. This constant stream of high-resolution data creates a sense of certainty. We assume the great unknown has been permanently erased. Yet, despite these multi-billion-dollar systems, massive physical objects and enormous biological creatures still drop from the feed. Entire networks flicker and fail, leaving us blind in real time. This raises a question about the limits of our reach. What happens when our observation tools are bypassed by things we cannot explain or stop? In 2003, Australia's scientific organization, the CSIRO, launched a tagging program off the eastern coast to track the precise movements of great white sharks. One subject, known as Shark Alpha, was a 9-foot predator. Researchers outfitted it with a satellite tag to broadcast its location and the surrounding water temperature. 2 months later, this chart shows an anomaly. The depth line plunges to 2,000 feet, while temperature locks at 72 degrees. Researchers concluded the tag was inside a larger animal's stomach. Shark Alpha had been engulfed by an immense, unidentified predator. Other anomalies reinforced this gap in our knowledge. In 2019, a fisherman recovered the head of a 550-pound Mako shark, the rest of its body removed by a single massive bite. In 2023, pods of pilot whales beached themselves in a huddle, a behavior typically seen when evading a threat they cannot outrun. We rely on satellite tags to define the deep ocean. Instead, they provide data on a void where our tracking technology is consistently outmatched. While we struggle to track the natural world, human-made environments are managed through redundant, overlapping civilian and military networks designed to keep every aircraft visible. On March 8, 2014, at 1:20 a.m. over the South China Sea, the transponder on Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 stopped broadcasting. Civilian radar lost the 240-ton Boeing aircraft instantly. However, military radar tracked it for another hour, observing the plane make a deliberate 90-degree turn to the left before it moved beyond the range of terrestrial sensors. The aircraft stayed in the air for 6 more hours. We know this because of ACARS, an automated maintenance system that continued to ping a satellite once per hour. This created a faint digital trail leading deep into the southern hemisphere. Using that satellite data, investigators moved their search thousands of miles to the southern Indian Ocean. Eventually, a piece of the wing washed ashore near Madagascar, the only physical evidence of the machine's final location. The disappearance of Flight 370 demonstrates that even our most monitored civilian grids can be bypassed. These vulnerabilities reach into the highest tiers of global security. In 1967, Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana was one of the most heavily guarded locations on the planet. A soldier on patrol reported a glowing red object hovering over the facility's front gate. Immediately following the report, the base hardware failed. Underground, the control panels for 10 intercontinental ballistic missiles dropped offline simultaneously. Documents released through the Freedom of Information Act later confirmed the event, showing that a high-security military facility suffered a coordinated technical shutdown from an outside source. An unknown entity disabled our most lethal nuclear technology, revealing a vulnerability in the systems we rely on for global defense. Some observational gaps exist right on the edge of modern cities. The Pine Barrens in southern New Jersey is a 1,000,000-acre forest that complicates modern mapping efforts. The density of the canopy often blocks digital signals, and at night, the lack of light and landmarks reduces visibility to near zero. Because the terrain is so difficult to monitor, local lore has centered on a winged hybrid creature called the Jersey Devil since 1735. While these are stories, they have been shared by notable figures. In the early 1800s, naval hero Commodore Stephen Decatur reported firing a cannonball at a leathery, winged silhouette he saw flying over the trees. The persistence of these accounts over 3 centuries highlights a geographic reality. The Barrens remain a vast physical space, where our mapping tools have yet to replace local anecdotes with hard data. From the deep coastal shelves and the southern Indian Ocean to nuclear airspace and the dense Pine Barrens, we see recurring gaps in our surveillance. These instances suggest a limitation in our technological reach. Our safety nets are not as seamless as they appear, and the data we collect is often incomplete. Acknowledging these blind spots is the first step toward a more accurate understanding of the world. We live alongside forces and environments that our current tools cannot yet fully observe.